You're listening to the Normal Isn't Necessary podcast, brought to you in part by the Gumball Head Sobriety Society and generous listeners just like you. For the latest updates, check out the link in our bio. Good morning, clamshell commanders and hot dog vendors. I'm your host, Gumball Head, with the Tuesday edition of Road Rants as we travel to work this morning. I hope you all had a great weekend and had the opportunity yesterday to check out the podcast that we did with Anarchy to Diapers. It was about 45 minutes long of us chatting with our good friend, getting to know them and looking forward to hearing from them again. We could probably have spent hours chatting with each other back and forth. We talked a lot about music, meditation, and mental health. We talked a little bit about our childhoods and our upbringing as well. So parenting was the key focus in that particular podcast. So if you get the opportunity or have not had the opportunity yet, jump over to that podcast, get to know you, Anarchy to Diapers, and let us know in the comments what you think. We thrive on feedback. We cannot provide quality information and quality productions without the feedback of our listeners. Our listeners are the ones that keep us going, and our listeners are the ones that give us the information that they want on our show. Don't like something about our website or don't like something about our show, well, you can send us an email, normalisn'tnecessarypodcast@gmail.com. Try to keep the comments positive on the website. Try to keep the positive comments coming in. We thrive on those. But if you're not happy at all, please also let us know. We want to make sure that all of our listeners are satisfied. Constantly making updates. And speaking of updates, Modern Viking Beard Care Company just recently updated some stuff on their website. So go over there and take a look at that. ModernVikingLLC.com. They are a beard care company out of Ohio, native to where we're at here. And they have a lot of men's care products, beard balms, beard oils, facial care products, soap. They have shampoo. They have some stuff for the ladies, too. Shield Maiden line, where you can get body butters and other products for them. So check them out, modernvikingllc.com, and let them know the Gumball Head sent you. Gumball Head 10 will get you 10% off your order, and shipping over orders over $35 will get you free shipping. So yeah, check them out, guys. So this morning we're gonna kind of talk about the way things are when change happens, and I know we do talk a lot about change, but it's imperative for us to understand that change is necessary, and we're coming into that personal part of my life right now where there's some changes coming that I am uncomfortable with. There are some changes happening that I'm struggling with a little bit, but we're going to get through it, and I already know we're going to get through it. I'm having a difficult time. Just because our bodies are resistant and our minds are resistant to change doesn't mean that we don't have to go through some discomfort in order to make those changes happen. And when I say that, my coworkers, my teammates are actually moving up the corporate ladder, and the ones that I've become comfortable with and that I've become not necessarily family with, but the people that I identify with and that I work with on a regular basis, they're changing positions, which means I'm going to have to get to know a whole new set of people. And I, for one, don't like that. However, on the other side of things, I'm okay with it. So I've been working on a unit, trying to get it turned, and working in my career, we are constantly changing, okay? And even though I don't like change, that's one thing that I do like about my job is the change of the work, the change of the process, the change of the hands-on stuff. I don't like the change of personnel. So right now we're changing a lot of things, and there's a constant and consistent change. So there's chaos in that change. Now, again, I'm being very transparent in the fact that I don't like change in my job, and I don't like change in the personnel because I have the fear of the unknown. However, I don't have fear of being successful. It doesn't matter who steps into the shoes of my former coworkers, because the only success can come from me. I can't rely on other people to make me successful. But it's been one of those relationships where there's a low level of feedback because of the job that we're in. If they say it looks good, you're good. That's it. They're not going to go through and nitpick your work and tell you, oh, you did bad at this and this and this and this. What they'll do is go through and say, hey, this needs to be focused on or this needs to be changed, and that's it. So when we do apartment turns, normally it's either a full turn or a partial turn. And a full turn is when you've got it and you redo everything. And usually there are contractors involved and there are multiple variables. But when you do a partial turn, the people involved are you and the housekeepers and maybe a contractor to come in and do some specialty work. But other than that, it's get in there, get it done, get out, quick turns. And we're working on this one right now where I had found an old gallon of paint and utilized that gallon of paint and painted a couple of the rooms. And it turned out to be the wrong color of paint. It was the same, it was the right color of paint, it was the right texture, it was the right sheen. And I mixed it, I stirred it up for 2 minutes before I applied it to the walls. And it just had a different tint to it. So reading the label and such, I determined that it was a mistint from the company that we bought the stuff from. It was not anything to do with our team or our network or our employees. But here's the gig. When I paint, I usually paint a wall, and then I give it, a couple of hours, and I come back and I check for flashing, first of all. I check to make sure that we don't have any, shiny on top of dull or dull on top of shiny. And if that's the case, then we know that we either need to get out the primer and prime up a spot, or we need to repaint the entire thing. Again, touching it up with the primer and such. But this paint just kind of was not the right, there was just something off about it. It was like half a twist towards blue, and that's not the right color. So I didn't realize it until there was actually a weekend of dry time. And when I went in yesterday, I could see that it was not the same color because of the way that it rolled onto the walls. And I had my suspicions over the course of the weekend that, it might not be the case, but I try to shut everything off on Friday and say, hey, you know what, we'll worry about it on Monday when we get in, if that's the case. And it resulted in me painting almost the entire apartment again. And the best thing about that is I didn't react to it. I was just like, well, it is what it is we got to take care of this no matter what. So it doesn't matter if I'm dissatisfied or if it's the wrong color or what. It still needs to be handled, and let's get this done so that we can be done with it and move on to the next project. So, but the mindset of knowing that, leadership is on its way out, my safety net is being pulled away, and this is that opportunity for me to grow, and this is the opportunity for me to flourish, and my opportunity to, prove that what I've been taught is good enough to keep going. And going forward, I need to be a pioneer. I need to be a leader by example, and that's scary. It's not going to be impossible. It's not going to be difficult. It's just scary. It's scary to know that, 5 months ago I came into this company, a wide-eyed little maintenance technician. But I have been humbled quite a few times in this job. And to look back, it's like, wow, okay, I came in with this experience. I came in with this understanding. I came in with this ability. And there are areas where I am still cocky about, my drywall abilities I'm cocky about. And it's not I'm better than anybody else. It's just I'm capable, I'm comfortable, I'm confident. And then there are other areas where it's like, plumbing, where it's like, okay, well, this is simple plumbing stuff. I don't need to be advanced in this. And then we have those areas like HVAC, and I was very honest during my interview. I said, hey, I'm not great at HVAC. I'm capable of doing the work. I'm very happy to learn, how to do this work and learn what needs to be done, but I'm not great at it. So, and then a majority of my education for the HVAC either came over via phone call or photos and texts, or, there were some hands-on things. Some of them were ultimately resulting in, what, screw it, we're just going to have it replaced. Well, waiting for parts, and the parts coming in and being the wrong parts, and this and that and the other thing. There were just a lot of things involved in that learning process that made me uncomfortable. And as things progress, I think that there was just a matter of, we started letting go of our grip one finger at a time, ultimately resulting in hands-off situations. And, it was a challenge. And we continue on with these challenges every single day, and we just do what we need to do to get forward. Now, we have to be open to change as human beings. We have to be open to change as people in the process, because if we're not open to that change, then we're not going to be able to make those connections and changes that we normally do as a result of our destiny, our choices, our determination. So we need to look at those changes and see that there are going to be moments of discomfort that come through. There's going to be situations where we're going to struggle to make that change. We're going to struggle to amend our desired outcome, because that change is not going to be simple. That change is going to be uncomfortable. That change is going to come with a price. And that price is the matter of our mental states and our physical states, and having to learn new team members, and having to learn a new process, and having to learn a new company, and having to learn the safety measures and everything that comes with that. And the older you get, the more likely it is for that change to either fail or create chaos and discomfort in your life. And we don't like that. we don't like that change. We don't like that manipulation of discovery as a result of that, because it's a lot of work. It's a ton of work, But we do change. We change things every single day. We change our thoughts. We change our actions every single day. Only, though, when it benefits us. And in the work world, it will benefit us. We just have to make that happen long term. And I'm not saying this because I need to work through anything today, because I'm already aware of this. The awareness is already existent. And, this is one of those things that comes from experience and not from outreach. But the experience has shown me that there have been a lot of times in my life and in my career where I've had to make these changes and I don't like it. The idea, however, is to understand that change is there as a tool, as an opportunity for us to sit down and see that, these things might be positive and they might very well be negative. You might have negative change in these situations. The incoming leadership or the incoming teamwork or the incoming team member, they might suck. They might not be nice people. They might have bad attitudes. They might even, be a cancer or a toxic situation for you. But evaluate that. Give it a chance first. See what's going on. See what the outcome is of the new people. See what the outcome is of the new work expectations. See what the outcome is of the environment. And if that environment becomes toxic, then that's when we start to work on changing that environment. If that environment does not change, then change the environment. My wife recently was talking to me about something, and it was, let's see here, divorce the situation, marry the process. I think that's how she worded it. And if not, then in upcoming podcasts, I will change that. But divorce the issue, marry the process. And that's pretty good advice. That's good understanding, because we work really, really hard on putting our feet down, setting our roots, being a part of something that we are firmly deep-rooted in, and then we struggle to make those changes. And when we struggle to make those changes, we don't overcome that adversity in our lives. We don't overcome the adversity in our workspace. We don't overcome that adversity in anything that we do, because we are so dead set on doing the one thing that we wanted to do with the accomplishment and the outcome of what we want it to be, and it doesn't always turn out that way. Why? Well, because we don't make it. We don't make it turn out that way, and we're so resistant to change that we're not flexible to have that understanding that some things might need to change. last night we had a disagreement, and it wasn't even a disagreement. It was a matter of she was being gentle, and we were being, two married people in a bed and getting ready for bed, and we were watching TikTok and Instagram shorts on my phone, and she was caressing my hair, which is one of my favorite things of all time. But she is also a cosmetologist, and she felt something in my hair and decided to pick at it. And I had reacted in a way where I gave her the side eye because she had picked at something, and it kind of triggered an uncomfortable moment in my head. Not uncomfortable moment, but caused me discomfort, pain, actual pain. But it wasn't oh my gosh, you just hurt me. It was just kind of one of those things where it's it made me wince. And she has a constant affinity to kind of pick and poke at my skin because it's fun for her, and it's just, I don't want to take her joy away, so I just kind of let her do it, whatever. Ingrown hairs, blackheads, whatever. We all have them. I'm not ashamed. And it brings her joy to be able to do that. Sometimes I even save zits for her to pop just because she likes doing it so much. But I had the side-eye reaction, and I just kind of jerked away. And I rolled over, and I just felt the energy in the room change. She was trying to be intimate, didn't realize what she was doing. And I had said, "Hey, I love you." And she's like, "I love you too." And I could tell that there was some discomfort in that. And I said, "You okay?" And she's like, "Yep." So, and I could read my partner, even though our backs were to each other. I had reacted in a way that made her uncomfortable. I had reacted in a way where she felt that she had done something wrong. And all I had done is, I got annoyed by it. I rolled over and I plugged in my phone. Now, mind you, throughout the entire day, I was extremely tired. I was exhausted throughout the entire day yesterday because Sunday night I didn't sleep very well. And I knew the changes were coming this week, so I was mentally tired as well. And made it through the day, struggled through the day, and there were things that went on throughout the day that kind of made me uncomfortable as well. So I was just like, all right. And I laid there for a second, and I just kind of pondered, and it didn't take very long, 15 seconds or so, and I was just like, "Hey, I'm not upset with you. I'm not mad at you. Are you sure you're okay? Are you sure you're okay?" Her response to me was, "Yeah, I didn't realize I was doing what I was doing." And then I explained why I rolled over and reacted the way that I did. I didn't say, "Oh, you hurt me," or "You made me uncomfortable." I said, "Hey, I wasn't expecting that the outcome of this situation to be what it was. I'm not going to bed angry at my wife. I'm not upset with you. You're my partner. Let's communicate. Let's talk. Let's figure this out." And that's, of course, paraphrasing because I'm not that boring. And she said, "Yeah, let's talk. Let's figure this out. What just occurred?" And we ran through the process together. We determined what the outcome was together. We figured it out together by communicating. And ultimately it resulted in us, touching feet again, kind of like knuckles for bros. And I said to her, we're like two monkeys holding hands because we hold each other's feet at bedtime. No matter what happens at bedtime, our feet are always involved, and we either touch feet or we touch our legs or we interlace our legs, but there's always that touching because sometimes that's the only part of our body that can reach each other because of kids in between us or because of pillows or because of blankets or whatever. But sometimes, that's all we can get, and our hands are, holding babies or children. So, but it resulted in a better opportunity for us to sleep, and it resulted in a better outcome for us because of our discomfort as a result of the situation. And when we brought that to fruition, when we changed that whole opportunity and the outlook and the outcome, we changed the situation. We changed the negative aura in the room and made it positive, and we ended up going to sleep happy. We're not happy, but we went to sleep complacent. We went to sleep knowing that I'm not angry with you, you're not angry with me. Truce, knuckles, high five, hugs, butt touches, whatever it is. Never go to bed angry at your spouse. That's good advice. We hear that all the time. But that's my story today, guys. I'm going to ponder this again throughout the day, and then on our way home, we will discuss a little bit more about that. So Until our paths cross, stay strong, stay focused, stay sober, guys. Much love. We'll see you soon.